What's up, dudes? Welcome back. This is gonna be the second day that we're gonna be working on the Cosmo. I'm gonna hop in the BMW because the car's all the way out in Omaha. So, what we're gonna be doing today is we're going to be mounting up the transmission to kind of test it out, start working on getting the cross member set up, kind of go over all the stuff you got to go through to the car, and that's what tools we're using, what parts we're using, and things like that. And kind of go through a little bit. We might get the clutch pedal mounted today. I've got an FD Clutch Master with me so we can mount the pedal up. But yeah, we'll go from there. I just had a starburst, but yeah, so we'll go ahead and get going and let's get to it. All right, so we're on our way out the rotors, and I want to address something before we keep going with this build, because a lot of you guys complained about us dropping the transmission out of the back of the car without using a trans jack. One, if you drop a transmission out of the back of your car on a lift and you get hit by the transmission, that's 100% your fault. Don't be stupid. Don't do what we did, obviously. That was just a joke. We have a trans jack at the shop. We thought it'd be funny to drop it off the back of the car because, like, it doesn't matter. If Matt would have got hit, he would have known it was his fault. No one would have been mad. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, we realized it was stupid. Yes, it's fun to do. That's not a big deal. But I'm on my way to the shop. I'll be there in a few minutes. If you're gonna get butthurt of the stuff we do, you might as well just unsubscribe now, because we're just having fun doing whatever we want to do. We're not gonna ruin the car. We might get hurt in the process. It's whatever. But yeah, so we're gonna go out and start doing some transmission stuff, and we'll be there in a minute. So be there in a sec. All right, so we're here at Rotors, and I figured I'd show you guys what all you need to do this swap for the 5-speed for the Cosmo. So we got the Cosmo right here. On the lift, we've taken out the trans, taken out the drive shaft, taken off the exhaust and done everything. So now I've got all the parts laid out here. So obviously to the 5-speed, you need the 5-speed transmission itself. This is a Series 4 Turbo 2 box specifically. You can use an FD, but the FCs are probably a little bit easier to use because there's no power plant frame to get around or anything like that. So I have the FC trans. Down here, we have an FC. This is an automatic FC starter. This actually is not a Turbo 2 starter, because the automatic FC starter actually cranks. It has a higher rating than the actual Turbo FC one, so it'll crank harder. It's more like an RX-8 where you get a little bit faster cranking speed, a little bit more powerful crank. So it's nicer to have the automatic. So like if you guys are looking for how to do the FD starter mod, just use an FC automatic. You can't do it with the non-turbos. If you have a non-turbo, you have to switch the same way we did the RX-8 to FD. You switch the nose cones out onto the NA and it'll work. But this goes right into the turbo transmission. We also have a clutch pedal. So this is a right-hand drive FD pedal. I had it imported from Japan using Kai Guy's importer service on Yahoo Japan auctions. I bought the clutch pedal, the brake pedal, the throttle pedal, and the dead pedal all for $100 shipped to America. Actually $88 shipped to America. We've got an FC slave cylinder, so we're gonna need this because this is the slave cylinder that mounts to the trans. If you're using an FD trans, it's an FD slave, but this is an FC slave because we're gonna be using the FC trans. What I also have here, this is actually an FC master, but I have an FD master as well. You're gonna need an FD master if you're using the FD pedal, obviously. So we're gonna be running the FD master, which runs with a remote reservoir. It actually uses the brake reservoir. I'm gonna be actually making a custom reservoir setup, so I'm using a remote reservoir. I have a shifter in here, and then I have a clutch and flywheel setup, Exedy Turbo 2 clutch. So when you're doing your Cosmo flywheel, you're gonna need a flywheel without any counterweight, so you can use the stock counterweight from the Cosmo. Typical, like, normal weighted flywheels will have counterweights. You can also use a Series 5, which has a built-in counterweight, so it's balanced the same way as the Cosmo, so it'll work perfectly. But we just got an Exedy lightweight flywheel and Exedy clutch, so it'll bolt right in. We can use a stock automatic counterweight on the back and use it without a problem. So it's pretty stock setup. It should be pretty easy to do, pretty straightforward. So what we're gonna be doing here is we're going to be installing the transmission, and then we're going to mount up the cross member. And when we mount up the cross member, we're gonna figure out exactly where everything needs to run to hold the transmission in place. And then from there, we're gonna get the measurement from the drive shaft from the back of the transmission to the differential, because we've sent off the drive shaft to the drive shaft shop to get modified for us. So we're using Omaha Advanced Drive Shaft, who apparently is really well known in this area. So we're using them to do the drive shaft stuff. We need to get the transmission on, so we make the measurements. Once we make the measurements, we send them off to them. They'll cut it to length, balance it, and weld the 2 drive shafts together, because to run the drive shaft, the Cosmo uses a 2-piece drive shaft. When I don't have it in here, but I would show you if I had it. Use a 2-piece drive shaft, so what it does, that reduces vibrations. It also gives it a little bit of angle. So like, say we get the angle off on the transmission just slightly, the second piece will make up for it and help compensate. You can do a 1-piece if you want a little more vibration, not quite as much luxury. But we're gonna be using the 2-piece modified for the Turbo 2 transmission. So it should be pretty straightforward here. But when Matt gets here, we'll go ahead and lift the trans up, get it bolted in, and start figuring out how we're gonna mock everything up.
We're removing the flex plate from the rear counterweight so we can hook up a lightweight flywheel. In order for you to use a lightweight flywheel, you need a rear counterweight. You can buy the lightweight flywheel and the counterweight together from like Fidanza or ACT. In this case, the Cosmo being an automatic, the rear counterweight is already there. So that's balanced with the rotating assembly, so all we need is the flywheel itself. So we're removing the bolts to drop the flex plate, to get the starter out of the way, and then we're gonna go ahead and put a flywheel on the back of this automatic engine.
Perfect. I got an Exedy chromoly live too.
Spacer plate here. Oh. I should have used transmission jack. Oh shit. Should have used the flywheel jack.
Jesus.
Looks like your rear main seal.
Yeah, I know, I noticed that too.
A little bit of a leak going on. Well, this motor has definitely been apart. So definitely not stock mileage engine. How I can tell is the fact that whoever rebuilt the engine, they had actually took permanent marker and they numbered their tension bolts so they know which order to torque them. And the fact that the rear counterweight has indentations from a metal hammer to knock it off.
So we got ourselves an Exedy chromoly lightweight flywheel, just in an Exedy kit. I got it for 350 bucks. So this is the reason you get a lightweight flywheel, is because you don't have a counterweight on the flywheel itself, because we're going to be using the automatic Cosmo RE flywheel. But look at that piece. Oh, she pretty. Damn, son. You wish your 20B had that.
20B has one.
No, it doesn't. You lying. Bro, you gotta use the flywheel jack.
I know, I almost couldn't lift it in there.
You gotta put the spacer back in there?
No.
Okay.
No, the spacer goes on the outside.
So from here on out, it's pretty much just like installing an FC transmission in an FC car. All rotaries pretty much have the same rear irons. This is an automatic rear iron, so the bolt holes are a little bit different, but
the 4-corner casting and the 5th bolt up here is the same between manual and auto, but what auto does is they add an extra bell housing bolt here because it's gone here. In the manual one, they have a long bolt that goes through the starter and through the rear iron with a bolt and a nut. That's what they use as a bell housing bolt for one of them. Other than that, all rotaries have 5 bolts. This one has 6.
so all of them don't have 5 bolts?
No, they're all 6 bolts.
There you go.
Excuse me. Manuals have 3 up top, 2 on the bottom, 1 through the starter.
Is that the same for RX-8s too?
RX-8, yeah. Yep.
I messaged my buddy, I messaged Chase. I was like, Chase, people are upset that we didn't use the transmission jack for chains. Like, what's wrong with that? I was like, well, the car was on a lift and transmission dropped 10 feet out of the air. He's like, oh.
Before we did it, I said, I'm gonna send it.
Right.
Like,
It's not like you didn't know it was coming.
the reference, like, I'm dropping this motherfucker.
But bro, someone else could use that transmission.
No, you can't even give them away.
Just tighten up all the flywheel bolts.
Yep.
And when you tighten them, do them in a star pattern, of course.
Correct.
Make sure you torque them all to spec. Check your owner's manual to find out what you need to do.
In this case, there's not really a manual flywheel torque spec for Cosmos, so we're gonna use the FC FD reference to torque these. Hey, this will be the first or second manual in the United States.
Might be. Well, there's a few of them. I can think of one that's in Arizona, but like, I think it's maybe the first one to be swapped in the United States.
Oh, the first one to be swapped in the United States?
Right, but that's such an arbitrary thing.
Hey.
But yeah, there was a 20B one
First one in the United States, and I'm over here sending it.
Jesus. There was one that was in Arizona that was 20B swap 5-speed.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that's active that has a Cosmo 5-speed though.
I don't know, man. If they see you fucking touching your glasses one more time, I think they're gonna lose it.
Oh, Jesus.
Look, you gotta give them a little bit of comedy.
Oh, Jesus.
Tell them why you don't fix your glasses.
Maybe I do already have fixed glasses and I just don't tell anybody.
You put the bad ones on before we film. It's the best.
The worst part is I can get fucking new glasses for free at any time. I'm just like not doing it.
Alright. Let's torque them.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. Give me, how many Ugga-Duggas?
I don't know.
Alright, so before you guys install your pressure plate, every flywheel comes with packaging. Well, as you guys can see, there's a oily residue. So what you're gonna do is take some brake clean, spray cleaner off, get all that oil off of there, so that way you can have a good sealing surface for your clutch. Let's wipe this down.
Everybody doing automatic to manual swap. Your manual kit will only come with the bolts with the flywheel to bolt to a counterweight, but they will not give you the supplied bolts for the pressure plate to flywheel. But I do know the ACT kit comes with all the hardware kit. Okay, when you're installing your pressure plate for any RX-7, RX-8, obviously Cosmo in this case, there's 3 of these holes are designated to be with these nipples or pins. It's always going to be in the center of the 3, and they're offset, so that's how you line them up. So you start, you turn it, get it in the center, get this line. Where are we at? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and Loctite our bolts and tighten down the pressure plate. Everybody's probably like, oh my god.
Are you using
red? Why don't you use blue?
It'll never come off.
Yeah, well, they're taking off with an impact anyways. Red's a lot safer than blue anyway.
You didn't even use your Loctite jack.
I don't know how the hell I lifted it up here. Thank God it didn't fall and kill me, this little model.
Didn't use your pressure plate jack.
Fucking so heavy.
One of these days you're gonna get killed by.
I almost lost it.
You're gonna get killed by a transmission one day.
Who, me?
Yeah, because you're making fun of the transmission
That's a
jack.
fucked up thing to say.
I'm saying because you're making fun of the transmission jack.
What if the transmission jack kills me one day?
Oh Jesus! You didn't use me.
Yeah, no, I used it and it killed me. Then what? Then what would YouTube say?
All right, so we've got the pressure plate in, the clutch spindle line and everything. So we're gonna go ahead and bolt up the transmission and go from there. All right, we're gonna take this throwout bearing, we're gonna install it into the trans. We have a brand new Exedy one that's nice and nice. Okay, so up next, we've gone ahead and installed throwout bearing. It's really simple, you slide it on, click it on. Throwout bearing's on the clutch fork. We're gonna install a slave cylinder, which my trans didn't have one. So we're gonna put these in. These are just two 12mm bolts, just like on the NA car. Tighten those down, get the rod in there, and then we'll start lifting the trans up, put it in the car. Alright guys, so where we are with this thing is the transmission will not go into the flywheel clutch area.
Pressure plate.
The pressure plate. It's being stupid. We think it might be the pilot bearing. It's just weird. It's like not clipping in the pilot bearing. We tried our best. We're gonna go ahead and call it quits today. We'll come back tomorrow. This is how some cars go. But we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll have transmission in the car next time.